Right, what's up everybody? This is the 5th episode of the Digital Gaming News Podcast. I'm Jay Darke, and today with me I have ScottyBot and Nova Lunatic. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Not much. How's your guys' week been?
Fucking brilliant. Just good, for no reason, and that's all the information I'm giving. It was good. Amazing. So, do with that what you will.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm a very private person, okay? Sue me. I'm not a fucking sit and stream every day, every just random thought that comes in my head. Just streaming on YouTube. But that's neither here nor there.
No.
ScottyBot, how you been?
Yeah, not too bad. Sun's teething, but bar that, all good.
Yeah, that's...
Love him really. Love him really.
Right. Okay. I guess before we get into this, I'll just ask you guys, what have you been playing this week, Nova?
So far, this week, I've been playing some World War Heroes, Vega Conflict, Rules of Survival, the Pirate Plague of, it's a mobile pirate
So you're just playing like a bunch of
game.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all random things that I've found on the Play Store.
Right. How about you?
A few games. I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 before I jumped on here. Bar that, Fallout 4. And I found a game on Xbox Game Pass, we were talking the other day, Mad Max.
Right.
I've been playing a bit of that lately.
I've heard good things about that.
It's okay. It's not the best game I've ever played,
okay.
but it's passable. You'll like it.
I had someone like, just like, it was the second coming of Christ sort of thing. I'm like, okay, great. Like, I'm glad you enjoy this game, but you sucking its dick like that doesn't really make me want to play it.
Nah, I'll be honest. I find the camera angles a bit awkward, and the controls the same. They can be a bit awkward, especially when you're driving. It's kind of like a clone of Batman Arkham Knight. That's the best way I can describe it.
That sort of thing. Okay.
It's got a very similar model to the combat. It's got a very similar model to driving the Batmobile.
I enjoyed that game. Anyway, I've been playing Prey, the new one.
Oh.
I happened to find it on sale, and fuck, I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I'm just playing it for the first time, and it's really good. I expected it to be just sort of like generic first-person shooter sort of thing, but it's pretty good. It's got it feels a lot like the Half-Life games sort of thing.
All right, yeah. What's it like compared to the one that came out on Xbox 360? Because that's a reboot.
Yeah, I loved the one on the Xbox 360. Honestly, I don't think that this one is. I don't think it's as good. But it's good.
Yeah.
The one on the Xbox 360, as far as I'm concerned, is a fucking masterpiece. And you know, there's a lot of praise for games like Portal and Half-Life and shit, but fucking Prey does not get enough love, because I think Prey is like one of the best of that genre. That's just my opinion, though.
I think it suffers from the fact that A, it's not a big name game, and B, they only ever really made one of it. They never made a series out of it like they did Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of the others. So
but
it's not exactly
it's
built a presence.
It's definitely a hidden gem. I only played it because it was one of a bunch of games that were on sale. At the EB Games, they had a bunch of used games were like extremely cheap. I think it was like for Canada Day they were doing like $1.50 games because it's like 150th anniversary or something like that. I don't remember what year. Are we 150?
It was the 150 was just this year. Passed.
Yeah, so it was a sale for like, so a bunch of games were $1.50, okay, and so I picked it up, and I played it, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe I was never recommended it before. So the new Prey is pretty good, and I got it on sale, so that was nice. I also happened to find there was like a big bargain bin with a bunch of tat, and in it was NHL 15. There were like 50 copies of it, and
what's that? Ice hockey.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So I was like, I played that. I played NHL when I was a kid. I kind of liked it, For like, the game was 99 cents. Okay, so I thought for 99 cents, I might as well pick it up. I picked. They had like the original edition, and then they had like the ultimate edition. Whatever the difference is there, right? And I looked in the ultimate edition, which boasts on the front cover, by the way, that it has $40 of additional content.
Yeah.
You want to guess what that additional content is?
What's that?
Loot boxes. Fucking loot boxes. Oh my god. I opened it up.
$40 of content.
I looked at the fucking code, and I saw like, what the fuck is this? It says like 25 NHL hockey premium gold packs, whatever the fuck they're talking about. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is fucking loot boxes. This is EA's idea of a fucking reward for buying a whatever ultimate edition, whatever the fuck that means to them, But that's their idea of rewarding people. Free loot boxes. Here you go. Pay a bit extra for the game. Get some fucking loot boxes. God. I was like, I mean, that's obviously why it was in the bargain bin for $1, but fucking hell. Like, all the fucking shit that I have against EA, all confirmed right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some fucking articles here. We got some stories to talk about. Hang on. That's not supposed to be playing. I don't know, which one are we going to talk about here first?
Pick one and one of us will fire away.
Alright, I guess we'll start with this one. Subnautica dev fired over, quote, hateful statements. Oh, let me put it up on the screen. There we are.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll just read it. Subnautica's sound designer, Simon... something I can't pronounce. Simon...
Chislinsky.
Chislinsky, okay.
Chislinsky.
Great
I probably butchered that.
Great name. Chilinsky, I think it is, maybe. Okay. Has been fired following outcry over insensitive statements made on his Twitter account. Subnautica... just... Okay. You know what? Yeah, before I read that, let's just stand in awe of that statement. He's been fired because he made insensitive statements on his Twitter account. That's the That's the world we're living in today.
Yeah.
You say something on Twitter, you're gonna be fired. If people don't like it, you get to lose your job over it. You know, no room for like apologies. No room for agree to disagree. No, none of that. You're sacked. Okay, you have an opinion we don't like. You're done. Oh God.
This is why it's... Go ahead, you first, Nova.
Oh. I mean, if it was something not too bad, then I kind of...
Oh, we're gonna get into it.
And, like, I don't know. It'll probably depend on what he said. On my output on it.
And I'm gonna tell you, I don't disagree with him on this issue at all. But I guess I'll read this. Subnautica is an underwater survival game full of eerie animal noises and a techno soundtrack. Over the weekends, fans of the game discovered a history of racially insensitive tweets. Racially insensitive? Okay. I've only heard this. Okay. Tweets critical of gender diversity on sound designer Chilinsky's account. The tweets appear to have been discovered following the resurfacing of a 2016 poll made by the game's director Charlie Cleveland. The poll asked if players would rather have the ability to play as a woman or have developer Unknown Worlds improve the core game. Cleveland subsequently deleted the poll, to which Chilinsky responded in 2016. We need diversity slider in the options. It will make characters progressively darker, more feminine, and less sexy. Cleveland called Chilinsky's behavior trolling on February 3rd of this year. Okay. So, what I saw first was this, which I think... So, okay, you know what? You say what you have to say. I don't even...
To me, it's... What is offensive about that poll?
Well,
exactly.
It's not this... It's not this tweet, is it?
Yes, that one there is.
No.
He's got it there.
But it's a comment that he made towards this, is what it looks like it's saying. It's not this tweet that's causing the problems. Is it? Am I reading this wrong?
The only thing I can really see about that paragraph you just read that has any ring of truth to it is just Linksay's.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah, he is. I mean, at the end of the day, he's looking to get a rise out of certain people.
Yeah.
And you know who I mean. SG. That's what trolling is.
I just had a fucking brain fart. I forgot what I was talking about a minute ago. Now I'm caught up. Never mind. I apologize. Okay, so yeah, I got confused.
You want to start again?
Tweet that was in front of me, right? Okay, I forgot about this. Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. Let's move on. Move on. Fuck. Okay. I think no. I agree with what he said, actually. Yeah, he's trying to troll people. You know what? I personally think that this whole, I want video game characters I can identify with, is bullshit. Okay? The whole point of video games, at least one of them, is role-playing. Okay?
Yeah.
The ability to experience something that you couldn't experience in real life. Okay?
Yeah.
The ability to experience this story or this whether it's some really good story or it's just being able to experience what it's like to fly around and murder people for no reason. The idea of gaming is to roleplay. So honestly, I don't really care if I can identify with the main character, and I can usually. I can identify with characters that I have nothing to do with. Okay? I don't need to have a fucking white male character to identify with.
I don't think it's much a case of whether or not you can identify with the character or not. I mean, like games like Tomb Raider, I'm not going to identify with Lara Croft, am I?
Well, no, I identify with Lara Croft in a way.
I don't, but I find the character interesting.
Yeah, well, I can identify with her in a way of like understanding her mindset and the way in certain things, feeling for her, feeling, when you watch her get fucking pummeled by a mountain lion, you're like, that would really fucking hurt,
Yeah.
As a person, I can feel that, her motivations, as a fellow human being, I can feel that, backstory, things like that. That's how you relate with a character. You don't need to share
arbitrary traits.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The whole thing with this whole idea. So from that,
I know where you're coming from now. Yeah, go on. I think I know where you're coming from now.
Yeah, I'm saying that having characters that we can identify with is not important. In fact, I enjoy playing as a female character once in a while, In fact, I prefer it to playing a male character for a few reasons, but we're not going to get into those. None of them are perverted, I assure you. Like none of them, not a single one. I am not that. There's no like kind of thrill that I get from being like, yeah, I'm a chick. None whatsoever. What were we talking about?
This one.
Okay.
This poor sod losing his job.
So yeah, no. This like the whole issue. I think the issue is laughable, and the way that he made fun of it was kind of clever actually. So I don't disagree.
I know what option I would have clicked on if that poll was still going.
Yeah,
and this
being
is
like,
coming from someone who's not played Subnautica.
So yeah, what he said was, we need a diversity slider in the options. It will make the characters progressively darker, more feminine, and less sexy. That's the tweet that got him fired. And this
I think it's one of them.
Yeah, and this is something that he posted in 2016 too. So this isn't even new. This is something that was said a while back, and the outrage army got a hold of it and said, no, we want this guy fired for what he said. And this is ridiculous. I mean, we're at the point where if someone has said something offensive in the past, now they can get in trouble for it. And it's ridiculous. I've heard stories of celebrities, they're having their pasts dug up, and it's like, oh, you said a racial slur back in '98. So now
you're referring to Cenk Uygur there, aren't you?
Was it him?
Yeah, he's you know who he is, the host of Young Turks. Well, he apparently made some comments back in the days of when he was a Republican, where he was basically just being an edgy boy.
Yeah, right.
Some of the things,
that is what I'm talking about.
Some of the things he said were out of order, but
yeah, it took me a second to. I'm just for the record, okay. For people watching, being like, what the fuck is with this absent-minded faggot throughout the whole show. Okay, look, I'm trying to run the show, and I'm also dealing with being medicated. Okay, so the people...
That's always fun.
Yeah, the people, you know who you are, who tell me that I'm a moron, I don't know what I'm talking about, and that I should let other people speak and shut the fuck up. Again, you know who you are. You can suck my dick. And that's all I have to say about that. Anyway. Sorry, okay, I got salty for a minute.
You did. You did.
One thing that I kind of don't really understand, because I think with Subnautica, it's a first-person
yes.
game. So you have, all you see is your hands.
Well,
you don't see anything else.
Well, look
You
at those
portray the
hands.
character as yourself.
Those hands are very masculine, and they marginalize female gamers. They don't want to see that, okay? They want to see nice, pretty, feminine hands with painted nails, and okay, it's disgusting, okay, that this game was made without the idea of females in mind. Okay, look, maybe we want something, I don't know. Maybe there's like the voice of the character is also maybe masculine. Maybe we hear some grunting and whatnot. You know, when the character jumps or whatever. I haven't played the game, but you know, there's that stuff too. Okay, and that can be triggering. Okay, there are women that are afraid of men because they have been sexually abused, and the idea of expecting them to play a video game that features a male character is misogyny to the highest degree. And
sorry, keep going.
I'm serious. This isn't a joke, okay? This is how I actually feel. Okay? I don't know why you're laughing. This is are you a misogynist? Okay? Are you a misogynist, Gary? You fucking
Am I a misogynist?
You fucking Scottish faggot.
Are you a homophobe?
No. I'm
misogynist? I forget what that word means. I've heard it, but I forgot what it means.
It means sexist man hater. No, sexist women hater. Right. You're like a sexist, or you hate women. One of those two things.
Oh, you're fun when you're on your meds.
Both of those. I'm But yeah, so I don't know. I can understand actually. I've changed my position. I have. Just looking at that. Look at those. That man. Okay. Does not take care of his hands. He needs a manicure first of all. Okay. A woman would have gotten a fucking manicure. Would have made her hands look presentable before putting herself in this subaquatic adventure situation, okay? Especially, you know. So, I mean, I want to be able to relate to a character. I want to feel like I am in the game, and the slightest little thing that takes me out of that is terrible. And the very idea that the game developers don't make every single game personalized just for me is wrong. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is there an SJW holding a gun to your head in the background?
This is what we call satire.
I'm well aware.
Fucking hell. I don't know. I think I don't think there's anything wrong with this tweet. I think this one like I think that this original tweet was posted with kind of the same mindset.
No.
Yeah, it was. He's basically asking. I mean, the same mindset as the guy that commented on it. They got fired. That's what I'm saying. So this guy's already saying, like, look, all you people who want a female character in the game, would you rather us put a female character in the game, or maybe improve the actual gameplay? You know, he's saying what the fuck, you know? And people obviously want the gameplay to be improved because that's the fucking point, you know? The fucking the hands that you see on screen don't have anything to do with the way the game plays. So why is it important?
Like I haven't played the game, but
Neither have I.
I've seen a lot of Let's Plays on it, and with the full game being out now, I've like the very first time that I saw the like model of the character, I automatically assumed that it was female. I like.
All right.
I see both male and female.
I don't know. You can view anything the way however you want. Like, you can view things however you want to. You can say that this is a transgender character if you want to. Like,
I mean, I think the general gist of what's happened here is, I mean, they've gotten rid of this guy because he has pretty much very conservative views in terms of politics, what's going on.
Do you want me to finish reading this?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, Twitter users subsequently found many questionable statements in Chilinsky's Twitter feed, including tweets about immigration, claiming that importing random people from the third world is also importing third world tier crime rates and IQ. Okay, I kind of agree about the crime. The IQ is kind of a cheap shot.
It is a bit.
Like, you're saying, oh, the people from other parts of the world are stupid. That's not true. Just because people don't have the access to the same education doesn't mean they're stupid.
Yeah.
So I disagree with that tweet, but I can see what he's saying, and he has every right to have that opinion. Okay? That doesn't mean he should be fired.
Yeah. I think when he says importing third world tier crime rates, I mean, I'll be honest, I find that a bit harsh.
It is.
I can see what
it is. I see what he's getting at.
I can see what he's getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, you're importing not just a people. You're importing a culture, a mindset. Now, this isn't a culture or a mindset that every single one of them will adhere to.
Yeah.
It'd be wrong to collectivize them in that way. But it's undeniable that people will come along, they won't share the values of the country they're going into, and if they don't share those values, they're not going to respect them.
Yeah.
So that's what he's getting at there.
And you know what? Here's another thing, okay? Twitter has a character limit. And what you are able to express is limited by the number of characters that you're able to use. Yeah. And that needs to be taken into account. You can't have a whole well thought out, nuanced viewpoint shown in a tweet. Okay? When people tweet things, they're just like summarizing things. Okay?
Oh.
So, like, if we were to, what I'm saying is, if we were to sit down and have this conversation with this man, we don't know from what he wrote in this tweet that he wouldn't agree with us. So, looking at these tweets and saying, "Oh, this person is horrible. He needs to be fired," is just a bit much.
I could probably look up some of his tweets. I mean, like, to be honest with you, some of the ones that he's put there, some of them are a bit.
Yeah, we'll finish reading this. I know I got off on another tangent. This is the Tangent Podcast.
Funny tangent, but hey.
Right. Another tweet mocked a poll on YouTube about gender diversity by referencing attack helicopters. Okay, I like that meme. I don't care what anyone says. It's a funny meme.
Yeah.
I identify as...
Yeah. A meme commonly used to make light of transgender issues. No, it's not used to make light of transgender issues. It's used to highlight the absurdity of certain transgender people who like to make up fake genders for themselves. Okay? That's what it does. We're not making light of transgender issues. We're not saying, hey, transgender people that are, treated like shit in the community, you guys suck and are stupid. No, we're saying, hey, you fucking whiny crybabies who get all bent out of shape when someone forgets your pronouns and forgets the fucking 38th gender that you invented for yourself. You people are ridiculous. And by your logic of, I can identify as whatever I want, even if it doesn't make sense scientifically, that, yeah, I can also identify as an attack helicopter by that logic. That's all it's saying. So
it's kind of like a parody of identity politics. It's kind of like the whole Kekistan thing. I mean, people often wonder, what the hell is this about? Free people of Kekistan and all that. That's what that is. That's like parody of identity politics.
The Kekistan meme I find is less impressive, but
that is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like these people will play this identity politics game.
Yeah.
They will say, I am this, therefore.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can just turn around and say, well, I am this. You cannot say, I am not this, because you'd be breaking your own rules. That's where the attack helicopter thing comes from.
And that's why I don't have a problem with that meme. When people say, I identify as attack helicopter. I've beaten that horse myself. I've come up with all kinds of variations on that, and I've sat and joked about that. Because it is ridiculous the way, but it's not making light of transgender issues. Okay,
no,
people need to understand. Okay, that just because we're making fun of a certain subset of this group, not the entire group. Okay. I have transgender friends. I like transgender people. They're just fine, okay? But some people take it too far. And when people start saying things that directly contradict science, okay? Like that gender is just a social construct and there's nothing that gender isn't a real thing. We just made it up. What? No, we didn't. It's a biological fact.
I mean, that last part, I kind of I agree with, that it's not like something that we made up. It's just that I personally think that everyone should be equal anyway. So I'm just.
I have no problem with equality. My problem with these people is not that they want equality. My problem is that they want to be treated like special little snowflakes, and that's not equality.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, what you're describing there is what they want is equality of outcome. Is they want the same as everyone else. They want to get the same as everyone else. They want to have it all as everyone else, but they don't necessarily want to work for it.
Well, that's not necessarily what I see from those people. I see more like, hey, look at me, I'm special. Everybody needs to be impressed by how special I am.
My will. And that
they'll often use these things as sort of like a
or
lever
everyone needs to feel bad for me because I'm not normal. and I have this third
Yeah.
gender.
Yeah, but like I said, they'll use that as sort of like their leverage to get everything they
Yeah,
want.
true.
I mean, like they'll say like see me or you or Nova, right? And they'll see that we are getting the same thing,
yeah,
right? And rather than doing what we do to get said thing, work for it, they'll claim some form of victimhood status
yeah.
to get it.
They'll
say, I'm this,
Yeah.
I'm marginalized, I'm victimized. Why can't I get this?
Yeah,
That's what I mean by equality of outcome on that.
Yeah. I don't believe in that mindset. I could use it myself if I really wanted to. I could be like, hey, I'm oppressed because this, and this. You know? But why am I going to do that? I don't want to be treated special from other people.
No.
I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh, this person, you know, everybody needs to make special allowances for this person. It's rubbish.
I mean, I can understand it in some senses, like people with genuine disability.
Yes, I
can
understand that. I'm
that.
saying people...
But a lot of these times when these people are talking about how they're held back
Yes.
in whatever way, it's because it's not that they are physically held back. It's not that there's any real boundaries put in their way. It's that their feelings have been taken into consideration.
There's a lot of people that have so-called boundaries in front of them, but they're ones that they put there themselves. It's like, oh, I'm black, so I can't succeed in life, and everything's automatically harder for me. And yes, there are people who do have, but is a person set back in life just because they're black? No.
Well,
not inherently.
no.
Fucking there are lots of rich black people. There are lots of fucking people who are born into wealthy families who happen to be black, who happen to be women or transgendered or whatever.
And then you've got certain
none
black,
of these.
Go on.
None of these pieces of your identity have anything to do with it.
That's what I mean by the whole identity politics thing. I mean, like they say, like in America, they'll say, black people are getting held back. That's not the case. If that were the case, you would have no successcul black people.
No, exactly.
At all. You would.
I mean,
it's
true that police, are disproportionately going after black people, or not going up, but mistreating them. It's true that black neighborhoods have more crime. Things like that happen, and yes, they're terrible. But I don't like this mindset that says because I am of this oppressed group, I am automatically oppressed. No, you're not. Maybe the group has been oppressed, but you aren't necessarily oppressed. You might be. You might be oppressed, okay? But there's a good chance that you're not.
See, that's the thing. In places like Western countries, I don't think anyone's oppressed.
No, they're not.
I don't think anyone is oppressed.
You want to talk oppression? The West? Fuck no. We're privileged in the West. And people want to talk about, white privilege, male privilege. Fuck that. How about Western privilege? How about we talk about Western privilege for 5 fucking minutes? Let's talk about how privileged people are in the West. Whiny fucking crybaby fuckers who want their fucking safe spaces. I've gone off on a tangent again, haven't I?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I should get through this. Should I get through the article? I should get through the article.
Get through the article, yeah.
Fucking hell. Okay. Other tweets.
If I can.
Yeah?
If I can say just one thing, it's for a lot of the people who are considered like oppressed groups or whatever. There are those cases where a lot of it is just flat out discrimination, and
discrimination exists, yes, but
yeah, and it exists, and bigotry exists also.
But do you know what?
But
you know what the problem is, though, is that now there's a lot of discrimination the other way round. Okay, there's a lot of people in these oppressed groups, quote unquote, who are now discriminating against the people that they view as privileged. Okay, so and that's what gets me so worked up is these people that are like. These people that are like, oh fuck you, you're a cis-het white male, you know, and it's right. Yeah.
Well, like so Western societies, I don't think any particular group is
that's what I'm trying
against.
That's what I'm trying to get at. But
more importantly, I don't think it's being done by a particular group.
If you want to know,
I don't think there's a group of people that
you want to know what the You want to know what this discrimination is in the West? It's the rich discriminating against the poor. That's what it is. The rich hoard all the wealth, and the poor people whine about the other poor people who have a little bit more money than them.
Even though
you can feel free to disagree with that.
There's no.
That's just what I
middle class anymore. So it's either you're poor or you're rich.
No, there's a middle class, okay? But what I'm saying is that a lot of these people that view themselves as oppressed, maybe they are oppressed, but they're not oppressed by the average white man on the street. They're oppressed by the rich people who happen to be white.
I'm not sure about that. I think, if anything, the only thing in Western society that will really oppress you.
Look, I'm not saying legitimate oppression. I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I think the only thing
you can view things however you want to, but if you want to view it relatively, I would say that's the only kind of.
I think what I'm trying to get at is I think the one thing that oppresses people in Western society isn't people from another demographic, it's people from the same demographic as you.
True.
People think that the worst form of racism is to discriminate against someone based on their arbitrary traits. There's another aspect to it. It's actually where you're not discriminating. It's where you're not discriminating against individuals. Like, you'll gain this mentality where all black people are alike. They think alike. They behave alike, which is demonstrably not true. And then they look at their own group and think, well, you're white, you're male, we're the same, we look the same, therefore we should think the same.
Yeah.
I mean, us three here, I mean, you're white, I'm white. I don't know about you, Nova, I've never seen you face to face.
Yeah, I'm white.
I mean, beyond the fact that we're both white, we're all male, we're hardly carbon copies of each other, are we?
Well, people, for the record, people shouldn't be watching this show with three white males. Okay, you should all be going and watching a female hosted show. Okay, give them a chance. Okay, who are we? Okay, we're privileged. We're white. We're male. Don't fucking watch us.
Yeah.
We have everything, right? We have like 1,000 subscribers now, right? Do we?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we have our obligatory 1,000 subscriber boost for white males on YouTube, which is nice. But I mean, we could use a bit more help, you know, always. But I think it would be far better if you people would go and support someone who needs your support. Someone like Anita Sarkeesian, you know. I mean, she's a female, and she discusses gaming, right?
Oh.
We should be watching her, right? Because she is. The logic doesn't work, is my point. That kind of logic doesn't work.
Are we going to summarize this one up?
Yeah. So, okay, what was the last one? Other tweets made light of global pay inequalities between men and women, praise colonialism, or reference SJW logic, something I've been talking about way too much. While some of these statements seem to be made, at least in part, as trolling, it was enough for unknown worlds to take action. What was this? Yeah, this is the one about the attack helicopter. Okay. As of February 2nd, according to his Twitter feed, Chilinsky had been working on a Subnautica expansion. Today he tweeted, "So I just got fired. Game director Charlie Cleveland confirmed that Chilinsky is no longer with the developer Unknown Worlds, telling Kotaku, over the weekend we discovered that one of our team members has made many hateful statements online that are against our company values. After discussing the matter with him, we decided to stop working with him immediately." I think I see how this went down now. Actually, this is a situation where we've got a bunch of we've got this gaming developer called fuck. I just saw it. Never mind. So, Unknown Worlds, okay? So we got this group of people, Unknown Worlds, right? A bunch of, virtue signaling, politically correct, crowd-pleasing retards, okay? And one of their people has been saying things that other people don't like. And so now they're like, well, we don't want to work with you anymore, okay? You're off the project. That would be like if I had a disagreement with one of you and I'm like, okay, you're off the show. You're done, okay? I want to like keep up this show's image, okay? I want us to look like the good virtue signaling twats that we are, and you don't.
Echo chamber is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I want to keep up this echo chamber, and I want to, you know, it's just it's rubbish.
I mean, at the same time though, because it was like in the article it said that it was against that the tweets were going against the company's policy or the company values. I mean,
no, it went against the values of somebody who, well, I mean, you want to get right down to it. It went against the values of somebody who supports the company monetarily, and they can't afford to have someone who speaks that way because they will lose money if they don't, so they have to get rid of the person. And this all comes back to this thing where, you know, the court of public opinion is what controls everything. You know, whether a company makes money or not is whether or not public opinion of that company is high or not. At least to an extent. So we have a bunch of people, like with YouTube, you know, if the fucking advertisers aren't happy, then YouTube, you know, they'll start demonetizing people.
I think summing this one up, I mean, looking at this guy, Chilinsky, he seems to be a guy to me that has very conservative views. I mean, he's your typical American conservative. And at the end of the day, they've just gotten rid of him because he has views they don't agree with. That's it.
Yeah.
It just seems to me to be very puritanical, what they've done.
Why didn't you speak up when I was trying to sum it up, you fucking asshole? You made me look like an idiot.
Because you make it fucking hard to get a word in edgeways.
God. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you got it.
You
hit the nail on the head.
Puritanical.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, and I'm clutching at straws here, as a saving grace for this development company, is what was in this guy's contract when he signed it. What was in his employment contract?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if his contracts involved nothing of the sort. Because, I mean, a lot of people these days are losing their job for having similar opinions, and
I know that with a lot of companies, especially the company I work for in my day-to-day job, there is a bit in my employee contract where I'm not allowed to do anything to bring the company into disrepute. Now, the thing is with that, I mean, there's a very big grey area.
Yeah, that's
there,
very
really.
vague. I mean,
that's very subjective.
One could argue that you saying the things that you've said over the show, or even you being associated with me, who seems to have more extremist views than you do, you know, that is a violation of that contract. You could be as nobody here knows the company that you work for, but in a hypothetical situation, okay, let's say, I mean, it's my problem with it is that these contracts are vague enough that you could pretty much say, you know, you upvoted this tweet that someone posted, and this tweet is from someone who's a fucking alt-right extremist, and you make our company look bad just by you being associated with us, so we don't want you here anymore.
Even then, I think if something like that came up, and the company themselves could prove that it's costing them business. I mean, I don't know what's going on here with the Unknown Worlds, but I think they just feared that this guy, having the views he did, apparently he was sharing articles from Milo Yiannopoulos, and you look at some of the tweets that are screen captured here, he's got sources from Paul Joseph Watson and Gad Saad, and they're well-known conservative commenters on YouTube. Like you said, all it's going to take is someone just coming on saying he's posting comments from these sources, and you might think initially, what's wrong with that? I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with posting Paul Joseph Watson or Milo Yiannopoulos. They're not people I agree with 100%, but a lot of hyperbole surrounds these guys. A lot of people will call them Nazi, racist, fascist. I don't think they're any of these things. They're just people I disagree with. But a lot of people will say that to their employers, and then they'll come back and say, well, why are you sharing messages from these dickheads, these bigots. Are you one of these bigots? I mean, it leads to all sorts, doesn't it?
I have one thing to say to sum all this up. Video games are an art form, okay?
Yeah.
And I really don't care. All art forms should be appreciated for what they are. And for example, like, I don't care if a person that creates a piece of art that I like, I don't care what they believe in their personal life. It doesn't bother me one bit. All that matters is that you have created this thing that I like, and I'm going to enjoy it. And so the very idea of and I mean, working on you can call it what you want, but working on a team of video game developers, I think qualifies you as part of a team of artists. Okay? Yeah. And so for one of the artists to have a controversial opinion, I don't really care. All I care about is, are you producing something that I can enjoy? So I don't care if you're making movies, making music, writing books, anything. I don't care what your opinions are in real life. I could say, C.S. Lewis, as an author, I respected him very much. I think he wrote some of the greatest works of fiction, okay? But I do not agree with him on philosophy or religion or anything. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy what he created. And this is a simple thing to say, but people really do seem to forget this. Okay? That, honestly, I don't care if I'm supporting an arsehole. Okay? Which, I'm not calling C.S. Lewis an arsehole. I'm not calling this guy an arsehole. I don't care if the person who directed the film that I'm watching is a complete arsehole and a piece of shit. All I care about is that he did his job well. Did this man do his job well? Was he did he was like in charge of sounds, right? Is the audio in this game good? That's all I care about. I don't care what he does in his personal life. I don't care what he thinks in his personal life. I don't care if he fucking owns slaves secretly. Fuck. Who gives a shit? Is he good at what he does? Look, if he's a horrible person, let the people that deal with horrible people deal with him. If he's doing something illegal, let him be arrested, okay? But as long as it doesn't affect his work, he shouldn't be losing his job. Yeah. That's my position.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry it took me so long to come to it.
We got there in the end.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys want to move on to the next one?
Yeah. I'm going to jump off a second. I'll let you and Nova carry on with this one, and I'll be 2 seconds.
All right. So we've got PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch news. Could mean huge price implications for the games. Do you want to talk about this one, Nova?
Actually, really quick,
you didn't have anything to say about this?
I'm actually gonna put it up on my phone so that I can read it.
Okay. No, I just wondered because you sent it to me, so I thought maybe you had something to say about it. I guess we'll read it, or at least part of it.
Here it is.
Okay, so it says, physical video game discs will be extinct within 12 years, according to EA. Well, right there, I mean, fucking, how is EA fucking credible? Okay. And if, as predicted, video game sales move to 100% digital, then gamers could see a sharp increase in prices. Not just as consoles require larger hard drives and memory cards to store all these games, but equally because of the steep prices associated with digital games compared to box versions in the shops. Digital games are more expensive to make? What? Since when is that?
I don't know how that.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
I'd figure the discs would be harder to make because you have to.
Yeah, it's saying that the costs are gonna go up because. Okay, I guess I'll just keep reading this. But okay, apparently digital versions are more expensive to make, or there's more costs. Steep prices are okay, whatever. But this week, bosses at EA, unquestionably the world's biggest third-party developer, also the worst, but whatever. Behind hits like Battlefield, FIFA, and Star Wars Battlefront, have predicted that we will continue to see a 5% shift away from discs to digital downloads each year. That means that by 2030, everyone in the world would have gone digital, and high street stores like Game might no longer exist, or might no longer be selling actual game discs. EA's chief financial officer, Blake Jorgensen, made the claims as he talked about the growing number of gamers directly downloading titles to the Xbox One, Switch, and PS4 consoles. He said that the industry is close to 40% for digital full game sales. He added, I think at a minimum we should see 5 points in increase. Hopefully it's greater than... Okay, I'm going to stop this for a second. No, I'll finish reading. We don't see a cap anytime soon because we know more and more players are realizing it's a more convenient, easy, and engaging way to play. Okay. So EA has come up with a timeline for us all, because we've all been desperately looking for the answer to the age-old question: when will physical media become irrelevant? And EA have decided to bestow upon us this knowledge. And
it seems very, very conjectural.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
I mean, they're not wrong, I think. I think eventually that will happen.
I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying I sense, I don't want to call it arrogance, but I from EA, I sense like I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I personally was a little bit offended by what I just read. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I don't think it will happen to their particular little timeline. I think for a while, I mean, you're a good case in point in this. People do like to collect games. They like to have gaming collections. They have to have racks of the things. I mean, I was watching another YouTuber called Alpha Omega Sin. You ever watch him?
Yes, he's pretty good.
Now, you watch his videos, and in the background, he's got this whole shelf of games from various consoles themselves, various memorabilia, and a lot of gamers are like that. So, I don't think we're quite there yet, where it's just going to be something we download directly online. I don't think we're going to get to 100% doing that for a while yet.
Yeah, unless if there's some way that if you get a newer console, there's some way to like transfer everything from the older console to the newer one.
Look, I'm one of these people that is stubbornly clinging on to the idea of physical media because I like having. I don't even care about the disc, but I like having the box. I like having it in my hand, and I like being able to put it up on a shelf.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm not looking for the second reason that I don't want this to go anywhere is because of being able to buy games used is also something that I think is very important for the gaming market right now. It's not just important to stores like Game or GameStop. It's important to the people. It's important to the gaming industry because a lot of people would never play certain games if they didn't buy them used. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of games I'm not going to spend the full price to like there's a lot of games I'm not going to spend $50 to play that. If I can find it used, maybe I'll try it, you know, and that's where a lot of and maybe the developers are desperate for this to go away. Maybe they don't want people to be able to do that. You know, they want people to have to spend full price. You know, and if you're gonna do that, then why not lower the prices a bit more? Because look, here's what's gonna happen. All the people that want to play your game, they're gonna have to spend full price, or wait for it to go on sale when there's a digital sale. But still, even if they do buy it on sale, the developer's getting that money, whereas if they buy the game used, the developer's not getting any money. So, it would stand to reason then that prices would go down because the developers are making more money anyway.
Initially, the developer is still making money off that game if it's being sold used. Because
yeah, absolutely.
The developer don't make their money directly off the gamers, as it were, through stores like Game. What will happen is Game or GameStop or whoever, they'll buy a particular game in bulk load, right? Once they've done that, and Game or whatever outlets bought this whole bulk load of their product, their game, right? That's basically the money that the developers made. It's out of their hands. It's then up to the game shop to sell on those copies to us, the punters, for profit. I mean, like, it's basic business, really. They might be buying them at, like, say, I don't know, £30 a copy or something like that, and they're selling it on to us for 30, that sort of thing.
But the developers are looking at all the people who buy those games used as potential customers. Then that's money that they could be making if EA didn't go through the physical retailers, then they wouldn't have to. First of all, they wouldn't have to share any of that money with them, and all the people that will rebuy a used game, it'll be as if they're buying a new copy. So the developers in the end are selling more more new copies digitally.
But the thing is that if we're talking about digital, you don't get a used digital copy, do you?
No, you get a new you get a new one.
Yeah,
right?
But for a used physical copy, the developers aren't making any money off that game being sold again.
Yeah, but they're making money off a new a new copy of a game being sold.
Yeah.
So the person buying the game used, no longer able to do that, having to buy the game from the developer, is like them buying a new copy.
Yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
That's the way they see it. I guess I'll... Do you want me to finish reading this?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Okay. Across the EA portfolio on both PS4, Xbox One, 37% of its game sales... 37 of its full game sales were digital over the last 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's up from 32% last year. On specific titles, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was 28% digital. 28% digital, up 12 points from its predecessor 2 years ago. We skew a little lower due to the global nature of FIFA and then also Battlefront 2, primarily due to the gift giving and a younger audience base, he said. And it doesn't sound good for the high street in coming years. Many players have been already buying extra content and thus digital purchases as part of their overall gameplay. We believe the consumer will ultimately default towards convenience, however that might be. It might be they still have a store around the corner from them, or it might be that they don't. What? It might be.
Maybe they doesn't.
That's. They wrote that really poorly. It might be that they still have a store around the corner from him, or that he doesn't, and it's easy for them to buy digital. Okay. That's just a word soup of a sentence there, but it's easier for people to buy digitally, blah blah blah. But you'll see us continue to do things to try to encourage people to buy digitally, and we think that's still major key as part of the future business. Okay, recent stats bizarrely found physical game sales are growing despite a huge push by the industry to go digital. Some computer fans, fed up with extremely long downloads, are opting to go back to buying disc copies of hit titles in the shops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anyway, big blockbusters like Assassin's Creed Unity, Wolfenstein 2, and Super Mario Odyssey have been flying off the shelves in greater numbers than likewise games in the last year. Major titles on the likes of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One regularly come in at hefty file sizes beyond 30 or 40 gigabytes. And
that's a giggle. Yeah. On a normal Xbox, that's a bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, most modern games, including DLCs and save games and all that. I'm lucky if I can fit on there 6 at a time.
Yeah.
Full games. I mean, I do have some digital downloads, but I do have some CDs.
So, the problem with that, though, is that a lot of the games... Well, a lot of the games, at least a lot of the AAA ones that you buy, even if you buy them on disc, you still have to install them.
Yeah.
And that takes a while. And then there's like day one patches and all that shit. So it kind of defeats the purpose when you have a disc and you can't just pop it in and play it right away.
Yeah.
The good old days.
But I mean, even the fucking Switch games are doing that now. I had to when I got Doom, I thought, yeah, I'll buy it from the shop so that I can play it right away. And I put it in, and what did I have to do? I had to fucking install for like 2-3 hours. Install updates and shit before I could play the game. It wouldn't even let me play it without updating. So that's not exactly true anymore. So that's a benefit to buying digital that seems to be going away.
I mean, going back to the original headline of it, I'm looking at it saying
Yeah.
this news could mean huge price implications for games. Strictly speaking, for a long time now, they could easily have bumped up the prices of video games by a lot, simply on the basis of development costs of these games. And I think, in one sense, they could do it, bump up the prices of the games, but the reason why they don't is, well, obviously they get a lot of backlash off of gamers if they did. We were talking about this earlier, Jay, weren't we?
Yeah.
You look at the price of, say, an Xbox One game or a PS4 game, and over here it's like £50, £50 sterling, or GBP, whatever you call it, over there. But if you were to look at a game on a previous platform like the Xbox 360 or the PS3, you're probably looking at about £40 for when they came out brand new, like a £10 difference. Right?
Yeah.
So these games aren't really increasing in value much. In fact, if you look at factors like, say, inflation and whatnot, you could argue that they're not really increasing in price at all. But then you look at the development costs of these games, and they're getting more and more and more expensive to make as new technology comes out. There's other things to take into consideration, like a lot of these games use famous people as voice actors. Their services aren't cheap. But the sales margins aren't really going up, matching it. I mean, you might hear a game making, say, £50 million on its first day, and you might think, ooh, bloody hell, that game must have made a shed load of money. But when you look at it, you think, well, hang on, these guys have only just broken even.
Yeah.
And this is where you get things like microtransactions coming out. This is where DLC came from initially, right? But this is where you get microtransactions coming out. So if they did put them up, the prices, I mean, to a point where they could profit from it, matching the other development costs, they would, in my book, have to stop putting microtransactions in games, stop putting loot boxes in games.
Yeah.
If you did that, you basically destroy any justification for it.
Oh yeah, if they're gonna go and increase game prices, then it would be blatantly greedy for them to be still piling on microtransactions and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's an inevitability. I think it's gonna happen. But we talk about people need to make their money back. These developers deserve to be making money, but when you look at the way a company like EA is run, you wonder if most of that money isn't going to fucking CEOs that are fucking millionaires.
I've no doubt companies like EA, a lot of it's greed based.
Yeah. And so when you're having these companies that are saying, "Oh, but we can't afford to pay our employees," I'm very skeptical when I hear that. I'm like, well, you can't afford to pay your employees, or you don't want to pay your employees because you're gonna have to take pay cuts from the CEOs.
I can buy it from individual developers. I can buy it from individual developers. I can't buy it from companies like EA.
Yeah. And that's why I find this all just kind of ridiculous coming out of EA. Now, I wanted to finish this article so that we could get into what it says in the headline there, but that's pretty much all it is.
Yeah.
They're not really giving us any information as to why. And so they're just kind of implying.
Like Nova can jump in.
They're just kind of implying it here, and I don't find that particularly helpful. Nova, do you have something to say? Don't be shy, mate.
I can't remember.
It's okay.
I can't remember.
I'm just gonna run through the rest of this article. Yeah, and some gamers have to wait hours, if not days, to download. Yeah, well, that sucks. That, in part, is why some are returning to buying speedier to load physical discs of games rather than downloading direct online. Data from this place found that in the 3 months... hang on. CanStar World Panel, okay, found that in the 3 months ending last September, UK physical... What? 3 months ending... I can't understand the way that this article is written. It's not written well. It's fucking bullshit. What's this Daily Star? You said it's like a... Yeah, fuck these people. Fuck these people. They don't know how to write. Fuck you, Tom Hutchinson. Okay?
UK Physical Entertainment.
Hutchison? Tom! You're a wanker. I don't know.
That's not very nice.
We're all wankers, okay? Fucking hell.
Right.
Okay, I guess we'll just move on to this last one here. Google is making a games console, apparently. It's called Yeti, and its codename... It's the codename attached to an intriguing rumor about Google's gaming ambitions that emerged this week. The rumor suggests that the company is developing its own cloud-based gaming service and home console. As the information reported, the so-called service would stream games into users' homes from remote servers, allowing users to play on a Chromecast or on a new console made by Google. A game console from Google could be a big deal, akin to how Microsoft transformed the gaming business after launching the Xbox in 2001. Still, this week's reporting offered scant details how Google's gaming service might work, what its hardware might look like, and when we'll see the fruits of these efforts. Okay, so that's just a little... I'm not gonna...
So it's not like, say, like what we just discussed, downloading games onto your hard drive or your PC like you would through Steam.
No, it's a streaming sort of thing, which...
So you wouldn't have the game on file anywhere on any platform in your own house. You'd just be streaming it from.
And that's the problem that I have with those fucking Steam those Steam boxes that let you play Steam on your telly, because they just stream from your PC.
I'll be honest. I'm curious to see what they do with it. I mean, it's like you look at the gaming industry in the past. It's decades old. So I've often wondered in the past, say like 10 years from now, or even 20 years from now, which companies are going to be building the consoles that are going to be forming the console rivalries, if that makes any sense. It's like now it's Sony and Microsoft facing off against each other. I mean, we've still got Nintendo going around, but they're hardly a big player in the market nowadays, are they, really?
Oh, no, they are, though, but because they have... I mean, they pretty much dominate the portable gaming market.
Yeah, but mainstream console-wise, it's Sony versus Microsoft. But if you go back to, say, the 90s, Nintendo were really big back then, so was Sega. They were sort of like the two gaming rivals. Sega versus Nintendo, who had the better exclusives.
Woo, Sega!
And going back further than that, it wasn't Sega and Nintendo. It was Commodore and Atari.
Yeah, as this, I don't know, as this article is saying, you know, it has to be able to run games offline, and based on the information we have, that doesn't seem like a that it doesn't seem like that would be the case, and it would have to in order to be a big rival.
That almost ruined Xbox One, as I recall.
Yeah. So, I mean, all we really have on this is speculation at the moment. Google haven't confirmed anything, so I'm not going to sit and read someone's speculation, as I have been throughout the whole show with the other articles we read. But it's an interesting idea, but I really think we need less consoles on the market, not more. I honestly would be fine with Microsoft going away, with Xbox going away. Sorry, not Microsoft. If Microsoft stopped making the Xbox, and just focused on PC gaming, which has been speculated. Personally, I think that is a likely outcome, rather than another Xbox. And I mean, I don't know, that's just my opinion. I think it would be better if there wasn't so much.
I don't think they're going away. I mean, they are still quite rooted in the console market with the Xbox now. I mean, I know it's taken a lot of knocks, but it is still considered one of the bigger players in the market, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying maybe this is just wishful thinking, okay? But I honestly think that I think it'd be better if they just stopped, if they just focused on making games, and let Sony and Nintendo fight out the console wars, the dying console wars that I'm surprised that it's still going on, honestly. I don't know. I imagine a world in which Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo can get along, and they all just make their games, and there's one console that everything runs on.
Well, a lot of people are talking about cross-platform play. I think that'd be the first.
And that's the thing. I mean, Sony isn't really playing well with the others when it comes to that, and I think that's a shame, because I think everybody, no matter what console they have, should be able to play together, and a way to eliminate that barrier is to just have one console, and I think that's what we should be moving towards ultimately. One ultimate console that does everything, and adding competition to it at this point. I mean, this would be like if fucking Atari decided to. I mean, it almost is like it. I think it's almost like as Atari trying to make their what was it, the Jaguar or whatever, back when Atari was clearly dying, and they clearly weren't going anywhere, but they're like, hey guys, we've got a console too, and it's just like, nope, not happening. Because I think ultimately that's what's going to happen here. Google can put out a console, no one's going to buy it.
thing is with that though, I just think there's one problem there with the concept of there just being one single console, just one games console that everybody just put their games on.
Yeah.
So you slap any price label on it.
To me, that console would be stupidly expensive.
Yep.
That's true.
Right.
But
Because
on the other hand, you wouldn't have to buy multiple consoles to play all the games.
Yeah, but then you look at the mindset of a lot of these console developers. They do not want you buying the other console. They want you buying their console and buying all your games for that console so they can make all the money. And the way they get to do that is, in one part, making their console more value for money. And one way they do that, they keep the price down. So I think a bit of competition helps in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know, really. I think, Google trying to make a console at this point, honestly, the only way it would work, and I mean, I still think it won't, but the only way it would work is if it was, if it was like a portable console that was trying to rival the Switch. And it would have to actually rival the Switch. Okay, it would have to actually be more powerful than the Switch and also be portable.
I think two things they need to do to make it a successful console is one, let's just say it's not going to take any hard copies of games. Like, they're not going to have disc, it's just going to be online downloads.
That's very likely.
Right? Yeah, I don't mind it being online download things, as long as it's an online download. You're downloading that game onto a hard drive on the system itself. If you're streaming that game, I think that's going to be a big negative to it. If you can download that game, have it on your hard drive, which brings me on to point 2, being able to use the thing offline.
Yeah.
Like I said before, when Xbox One was in development, people were talking about it coming out, and they were talking about how you could only play it online, and other things like, what was it, you could not, if you wanted to play a second-hand game, you had to pay a fee. That nearly killed off Xbox. They had to suck back majorly on that just to sell it. I can't remember what they called it, DRM or something like that. But they had a lot of policies towards online gaming and second-hand games that did not go down well, and they had to suck back hard on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Nova, what were you saying?
I was kind of just thinking about something. And if they made a console that would be the rival to the Switch, but also make it possible to Bluetooth the controller to like your phone, so that you can play the Google Play store games.
This all, like,
that would be really cool.
I think if Google wants to make their own phones, great. Okay, look, we're moving towards smart devices anyway. Okay, so why not just make a smart device that can handle all sorts of games and focus on that, Google? Don't make a home games console. Make a good smart device that's powerful and that can run all the latest games. You know, make a fucking smartphone that can play PC games. Do something like that. Like, because honestly, when it comes to making a new console anyway, like, the thing to think about is, hey, there's still PC gaming, right?
Yeah.
So why am I going to bother buying a new console when there's already other consoles on the market? I already have all these options, okay? There's Nintendo, there's Sony, there's Microsoft, and then there's PC gaming. We don't need another choice. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And the fact that PC gaming, they play everything, basically.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have much more to say on this.
Yeah, I think we've hit the end of this one.
Yeah, I apologize for my low energy on this episode. I guess I've been a bit high energy and low energy on this episode. I'm working on things. And I'm working on making this show great. Okay? I'm working on bringing back the trailer thing, which was going to be the original concept of this show, was that we comment on trailers, and I'm doing my best to bring that back. So I want the viewers and the potential viewers out there to know that, and that things are going to improve here. So you guys definitely need to stay tuned. I mean, where else can you hear me ramble on about nonsense? Well, so how do we end this?
So,
Someone play an outro or something. Play the theme music. There's no theme
oh,
music.
there you go.
There we go. Yeah, I
think that was it. His ringtone.
There's my fucking. Fucking hell. Okay, enough of this. Thank you guys very much for being on. It was good. Do you guys have anything else to say before we go?
Nope.
No? Okay.
The only thing that I really want to say is to the viewers, I hope that you guys are having a good day, week, whatever time. And I really hope that I get to see you guys in the next one in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put out these episodes every other Friday. We usually record them on Wednesday, but today is Friday, so
Yeah, we're running late.
I'm gonna have to get this one up really fast, which is a pain. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, and hopefully eventually we can start doing these live. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time.